How about them Cowboys? Angry Cowboys fan. Born to battle. Start on just means we never sell. America's team through thick and thin. When the sun shines bright, that's where we win. Angry Cowboys fan.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation? And Angry Cowboys fans around the world, y'all know who it is. It's your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. And it's time for the media and the talking heads to start letting the narratives fly when it comes to George Pickens and the franchise tag that the Dallas Cowboys are trying to put on him. He hasn't signed it yet, Cowboys Nation. But it's time for a lot of subjective opinions, letting Cowboys fans know that their wide receiver 1A won't be showing up to off-season workouts. So, I just want to apologize beforehand because this video might turn into a rant. I'll try to control myself though, Cowboys Nation. So we're going to take a listen to the 3 clips that I got for y'all, and y'all know what we're going to do. We're going to come back and unpack this raw and uncut. So, Angry Cowboys fans, let's take a listen to the first clip from NFL Live on ESPN.
George Pickens' first season with the Cowboys could not have gone better. Pickens put up career highs in catches, yards, and touchdowns while playing every game, being named to the Pro Bowl for the first time and earning second-team All-Pro honors. We heard Coach talking there about the franchise tag situation for George Pickens. Is Adam Schefter joining us? Adam, what more can you tell us about where things stand there for Pickens and the Cowboys?
Well, Laura, he is not allowed to report to the Cowboys facility unless he signs his franchise tag. And he's not signing his franchise tag anytime soon, which means by the transitive property, if he hasn't signed and he can't be there, he's not going to be there until they have some sort of deal. So literally, unless the two sides can make some sort of progress, we're not going to see George Pickens during the offseason program. The chances are, as is the case with many of these situations, they come down to the deadline in mid-July, whether they can get the deal done in time or not. And that probably is going to be the case here, which means we could check back and have this discussion around the July 4th holiday. Until then.
Until then what, Adam Schefter? But it's funny to me, Cowboys Nation. It's funny to me that these talking heads are surprised at the turn of events when it comes to George Pickens and this franchise tag. Adam Schefter talked about not seeing George Pickens during the offseason workouts, but fails to mention that those same workouts are voluntary by the players, and a number of star players don't even show up to those workouts. But I digress, Cowboys Nation. Now let's go ahead and jump into the second clip so we can come back and talk about it. Roll that clip.
They got to keep him in the building. And my thinking on this has evolved, Laura, because at first I was like apprehensive about the notion of paying 2 quarterbacks a ton of money, thinking about the Bengals and all the needs on defense. But as I prepared for this draft and started watching all the receivers, and there are some really good ones, I found myself thinking, particularly as it pertains to a couple of them, this guy could be George Pickens. They have George Pickens, right? He would be wide receiver 1 in this class with a bullet. And so I think you look at offense that was top 5 last year, 5th in EPA per play, 4th in yards per play. You know what you've got. Yes, they need to make additions on defense, but they have ammunition in the draft to do so, and this is a good drafting team. So if I'm Dallas, I really try to make the bird in hand, which is Pickens, work out here, because you know that with him and Lamb and Dak Prescott, you have a top 5 offense.
With him, CeeDee Lamb, and Dak Prescott, you have a top 5 offense. But quarterbacks, Mina Kimes? You don't want to pay 2 quarterbacks? Hey, maybe she misspoke, but Mina Kimes is one of those female analysts that I can definitely look toward and get a lot of knowledge. Shout out to Mina Kimes. But my thought is this. They do need to keep George Pickens in the building, Cowboys Nation. He was a great addition for our Dallas Cowboys last year, and it would be a shame and a disgrace if he wasn't a part of the Dallas Cowboys for the 2026 season. Personally, I believe he will be in the Dallas Cowboys uniform this year, and that's even playing on the franchise tag, Cowboys Nation. Jerry Jones can try to franchise tag him twice, but I don't think that would work out in the Dallas Cowboys' favor. Now let's go ahead and jump into the third clip so we can come back and unpack this raw and uncut.
It's funny because we spend all this time on the Eagles and their wide receiver, and then now it's like, all right, now we're going to turn the page from A.J. Brown. Now we're going to talk about George Pickens, all in the NFC East. Shotty was really honest with us. He wants George Pickens to be a Cowboy. George Pickens wants to be a Cowboy. He told us that great story about competing at, Nerf basketball in his office, and the two of them have this great connection, and I think he rehabilitated his entire career. But money talks. And the Cowboys don't typically get these things done, as Adam said, in March and April. And with the case of Zeke and CeeDee Lamb and Dak, they always got done. Last year was the fly in the ointment because Micah didn't get done and things went haywire. And Micah was talking and he was stretching during the preseason game at practice or whatever it was. I would imagine they're going to be working very hard once that deadline approaches. In the meantime, they have the 12th and the 20th pick. And I wouldn't just say defense. If they do see a wide receiver that slips that they think is interesting at 12 or 20, I think they'll keep their mind and they'll keep their eyes open for that.
Did y'all hear that, Cowboys Nation? Peter Schrager first said that the Dallas Cowboys usually don't get these things done, but then he named Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, and CeeDee Lamb, saying that they got the job done. The only fly in the ointment was Micah Parsons. Come on, Peter Schrager, damn. But that Brian Schottenheimer interview that they conducted was a pretty good interview. Y'all let me know if y'all want me to break that down as well. But if Dak, Zeke, and CD got done, why do y'all think that George Pickens wouldn't get done? I mean, they even signed a Michael Gallup to a big contract that a lot of Cowboys fans thought that he didn't deserve after an injury. So why wouldn't we get the George Pickens situation taken care of? But you know what? Let's get into it. Y'all ready for this Raw with Uncut? Y'all ready? Let's get it. Get ready for the Angry Cowboys fans, Raw and Uncut.
Man, keeping it real, man, keep it real, that's real.
All right, Cowboys Nation. We all know, and we're fully aware that the Dallas Cowboys placed a franchise tag on George Pickens this year. To my knowledge, and to the knowledge of Adam Schefter, apparently, George Pickens has not signed that tender yet, but the soap opera has been set in motion since February, and now talking heads in the media are shocked, promoting these stories that do nothing but promote drama for George Pickens and the Dallas Cowboys. The reason why I say that this whole thing is subjective is because not one person who's reporting on this knows for an absolute fact that George Pickens will not show up during the off-season workouts. They don't know if George Pickens will hold out and not show up to OTAs, minicamp, and training camp. Right now, they're only reporting on this in order to get engagement, in order to get clicks, in order to keep Cowboys Nation on the edge of their seats. But let's not kid ourselves, Cowboys Nation. These posts and these articles coming out about George Pickens not showing up to all-season workouts fail to tell the readers that off-season workouts are fully voluntary for the players. A player doesn't have to show up to these workouts, but the media's going to make a big deal about it because it's the Dallas Cowboys, and a lot of Cowboys haters show up for the drama. People, they don't have to like you in order to show up because there's drama ahead. They don't have to like you. But the only thing you have to do to inflate your numbers is mention the Dallas Cowboys. We've all seen this with the talking heads and the 3 and 4 letter networks. All they have to do to get more engagement than they normally do is mention the Dallas Cowboys in a bad light. But it's as plain as day, Cowboys Nation. Just look when a top-tier player becomes available in either free agency or in a trade. What team does the media and the talking heads automatically link them to? The Dallas Cowboys. When they show a player that may be available in free agency or the trade in a different uniform, what uniform do they usually have them in? A Dallas Cowboys uniform. These media figures know how to butter their own bread, so they're just going to try to do that, not caring if it makes sense or not. But one thing I don't like is how these talking heads report on this as if no one knew that this might happen back in February. That nobody knew when they were talking about franchise tagging George Pickens that this would be a result. When the talks of franchise tagging George Pickens came up, Cowboys fans knew that there was a chance that a deal wouldn't get done and he would be playing on the tag. Now talking heads are reporting on this as if it's news that just came out yesterday. So Peter Schrager, Adam Schefter, and Mina, Cowboys Nation is fully aware that George Pickens might play on the franchise tag and that there's a chance that he might not show up to training camp. But personally, I feel you won't see him during any of the volunteer stuff unless they get a deal done soon. The volunteer workouts, the volunteer OTAs, and the minicamps might not have George Pickens there, but at the same time, none of us truly know what's going to happen. We can't predict the future because if we could, I would be predicting the lottery numbers every single time. But Pickens could surprise us all and be there for his teammates. We just don't know, Cowboys Nation. And I understand that David Mulugheta doesn't like to have any of his clients play on the franchise tag, but at the end of the day, it's not the agent's decision to play or not on the franchise tag. At the end of the day, it falls solely on George Pickens. Pickens can take the Micah Parsons approach and allow the agent to put him in a situation where he's not comfortable or even wants to be there, or he can take the reins and tell the agent himself what's going to happen. I just hope that George Pickens doesn't allow his agent to talk him into holding out or missing game day checks because, like I said in the previous video, not one agent will give George Pickens money while he's holding out. Also, if I were the Dallas Cowboys, I would have a contingency plan just in case. I know that some people would shit a brick if the Dallas Cowboys used either pick 12 or pick 24 wide receiver, but I would just in case George Pickens fell through the cracks and we didn't get a deal done and he didn't want to play. This would also give the Dallas Cowboys leverage in the negotiation process with David Mulugheta and Athletes First. And Trevor Smith, we can't forget about Trevor Smith. That's George Pickens' true agent. But if they were to bring in a Jordan Tyson, a Mekhi Lemon, or a Denzel Boston, they would be able to learn from CD as well as George Pickens this year and then pull an Amari Cooper in 2027 and trade George Pickens for a top 70 draft pick. Who knows? By that time, George Pickens would be worth a second or a first round pick as well as a player, but this would be the last resort if I were calling the shots. But Cowboys Nation, don't let the 3 and 4 letter networks work you up when it comes to this whole George Pickens situation. They're only reporting on things that we already knew while also adding a sprinkle, a little bit of drama to spice it all up. But let's continue to grind and get this team to where it needs to be before the 2026 NFL Draft. That means landing a legitimate veteran Mike linebacker as well as bringing in another pass rusher. The chips will fall where they may when it comes to George Pickens. I just hope that George Pickens understands that Athletes First works for him and not the other way around. This has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. Cowboys Nation, do you feel that the George Pickens saga will be over before the July 15th deadline? Do you feel he will either hold out or will he be at camp with his teammates putting in that work? Y'all know how we do. We always talk about it in the comment section. If you're digging this content and you want to help the channel reach its current goal of 20,000 subscribers, drop a like on this video, share it with anyone that you know is a Dallas Cowboys fan, and if you're on your mobile device and you haven't used them up yet, make sure you hype this video. Doing so will help get the content out to Cowboys Nation. The Dallas Cowboys fans will come over to the Angry Cowboys Fan YouTube channel and want to become Angry Cowboys fans themselves. And if you are DC for life and you just wish that the drama would stop when it comes to our Dallas Cowboys, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I go live, release another video, podcast episode, or film breakdowns. You can catch the Madden 26 or College Football 26 gameplay on my other channel, the Angry Cowboys Fan Gaming Channel. I'll make sure I put the link to that as well as my gamer tag in the description. George Pickens is certainly a huge piece to this Dallas Cowboys offense, a huge puzzle piece, but at the same time, the Dallas Cowboys can't allow his situation to hold them back from succeeding this year. I just hope and pray that he will direct his agent instead of his agent directing him, because if he allows his agent to direct him, he'll find himself on a team like the Cleveland Browns or the Las Vegas Raiders, unhappy and regretting his decision. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan, and I'm out. Cowboys fan, you done made it through the entire video. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.